couldn't join. So I like to start these with like a little presencing together. So if we all want to take a seat with a straight spine, let's take a couple inhales together and exhales and bring us into this moment together. Let's take a big inhale. Exhale, side out. Another big inhale. Exhale, side out. Allowing each breath to bring us here into this present moment with one another. I'm grateful that all of you have something in the invitation to Gathering of the Tribes has touched your heart to live more closely connected with nature, with spirit, with community, with ourself. Those of us that want to live in balance and harmony with nature, live in reciprocity and be stewards of this beautiful planet, live together in harmony with Pachamama, with our friends and loved ones, live in harmony and peace with ourselves inside. Yeah, I'm just really grateful for your presence, for each of you to show up here. As most of you just heard, I was in a pretty serious accident a couple of days and flipped my car, and it just really reminded me just to have gratitude and appreciation for every moment. So we never know exactly what's going to happen. So just really grateful for this time and presence with other beings on this planet who have shared values and vision. And may we all show up with open hearts and open minds to share inspiration and love with one another, share our wisdom with one another. Open our eyes and tune in with the other beings here that we're zooming in with to share this experience. And I'll share a little background and context to this. Some of you have already heard it, and I'll keep it kind of brief. There are recordings of all these, and the first one that we did months ago has a much more in-depth kind of introduction. So if anybody wants to, they can listen to that. But I'm actually going to close the door real quick. There's some background noise here. Okay. So my background's architecture, and started up a nonprofit organization in 2012 called Local Earth, focused on sustainable and regenerative community development and eco-village design. And we had an eco-village project from 2018 to 2020 together, about 45 minutes northeast of San Diego, with 12 of us on 11 acres of land. And it was just such a beautiful 2 years, really getting to live in that way, closely with the land and with dear friends who shared values for respecting the earth and respecting one another. And then our 2-year project ended. It was interesting timing, right at the beginning of COVID. And so went from community life into very isolated COVID world for a couple of years. And then came out of that about last year, and it was just like, okay, well, like I really want to get back onto to land with people that share values. And how am I going to do this? Who are the people that see this similar vision, and started this, kind of put the word out with this gathering of the tribes of who feels inspired to live in this way and create these types of communities. And so we've been doing this for maybe 6 months now or so. And once a month, we do it online here on Zoom for people that are kind of all across the country and all around the world. And then once a month, we gather in person. And I've been helping facilitate and host the gatherings in San Diego. That's where I have been based for a long time. And it's nice to connect in person. It's definitely a deeper way than online, but this also facilitates this kind of international or national component where there's those of us that can't meet in person, and we can come in, Zoom in here together. So that's kind of the pattern that we've been doing. On the first Thursday of the month, we do this Zoom, and then on the third Saturday of the month, we get together in person. And if you are somewhere like other than San Diego, there's a little template that we have in a format, and it's really easy. And we totally invite you to have your own gathering of the tribes in your own community and start to meet with people in person and strengthen those relationships wherever you are currently living. So that's a little bit of the context, and let's do some short introductions. Let's do maybe 30 seconds, name where you're zooming in from and just what has inspired you to be here this evening. And then we'll kind of jump into the next part. So let's start with you, Brother Genesis.
Yeah, zooming in from Nevada City, California area. And so what has me want to be here is it's my dream is to have my son. My son is 2 years old, to have my family in community, living on land, living in communion with the land, in sort of a village um, type of life. So, yep, it's a little about me. It's about 30 seconds. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, brother. Who would like to go next? Let's go. Maybe, is it Jeannie?
Hi, I'm Jeannie. I'm from San Diego. Um, I've had like a couple of spiritual awakenings since last year and early this year, and because of that, um, like basically like my old friend groups have sort of like started to fade away, and I am looking for, I guess, my tribe, that have like-minded people, similar souls, I guess. Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. How about you, Susan?
Hello, I'm in Australia. My closest city would be Brisbane for anyone that's trying to place it. I'm homeschooling my 13-year-old son, and we are nomadic. I'm in a house today because we occasionally house sit, but we are nomadic on purpose to be really connected to nature. And through Zoom communities and through travel, we're making big efforts to be connected to people. I feel like we have a real community with nature, but people is good too.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here, Susan. Is it Christiane?
Yes. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So my name is Christiane, and I am in Asheville, North Carolina. And I've been working a lot. And just noticing that I'm feeling a little bit more out of balance. And also just with a lot more of the divisiveness that feels like it's happening in the world, and how to still feel really connected with people online and in person. I find that I have, since I've been moving progressively more and more from West Coast, Northern California, I've been moving steadily, progressively further, and I'm here in Asheville now. And I'm recognizing that my choices, I tend to live in the moment. And now I'm looking at where my choices have led me and being here now. And there's a lot of really wonderful things, but I'm also missing in-person connection. And I just feel like I've been changing so much, and I'm wanting things simpler and more connected, more in person. And that the online is still quality. But since I've been in Asheville, I feel less connected to people personally.
Hmm.
So I'm just listening,
Hmm.
listening to my heart.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And, you're invited to, on the third Saturday of the month, if you'd like to, kind of initiate an in-person gathering there in Asheville, and even if it's just a couple people to get together like that, that's sometimes how it starts, and
Mhm.
we had a small group in San Diego. It started, and then like we're up to like sometimes like 80 people show up to the in-person gatherings now. So and invite you if you'd like to, you could explore doing that in person there in Asheville.
Mhm. That's definitely a possibility.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
How about is it Rachila?
Yes, you pronounced it correctly. Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, I've been traveling. I'm from San Diego, and I never did make it to any of your in-person gatherings. Let's see. Then COVID happened, and I've been traveling for the past year, and I'm right now outside of Memphis, Tennessee. I've been here for a few months, and I I've been interested in getting in touch here with your Zoom gatherings because I've almost always lived in households with several people that are, spiritually minded and ecology minded. And for many years, I had the intention of finding a tribe, a place, a community to live in. And I like that connection, and I have a lot of connection online all the time, but I'm wanting more in-person connection. And yeah, I think we're all tribal. I think we survive, we thrive in tribes. So
Thrive and tribe. I like that.
yeah,
Well, thank you so much for being
glad
here.
to be here. Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, let's go Christopher. And for those of you that maybe just zoomed in, we're just doing a short introduction, name, where we live, like trying to keep it around 30 seconds, and what has you inspired to participate this evening. Let's go. So Christopher.
Hi, my name is Chris or Christopher. I'm in Los Angeles right now, been here for many years, but I am looking to locate somewhere else, more rural. I've had a dream for a long time of being involved in an intentional community. I'm an organic gardener, been doing that for 25 years. So I want to expand my ability to produce good quality organic food through regenerative techniques. And I'm a filmmaker. I've done a lot of things on different alternative subjects, and including alternative nutrition, things of that nature, metaphysical subjects like UFOs and angels and nature spirits and free energy, things like that. So I really wanted to connect with like-minded individuals, and I already found several already on this channel or through the tribe, you might say.
Mhm.
And so I keep coming back, and I'm glad I'm here now. Thanks.
Awesome. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Wolfpack and Raven Wolf. Let's see. I can't hear you. And if you need to work on your sound, they'll let you maybe work on it. We'll go on to Maggie or something right now, and you can try to figure out your sound. And if so, we'll have you come on. Maggie.
Hi, good to be here. I'm Maggie, and I am down here in Colombia right now. I'm part of a community that's just starting up here. And yeah, I'm just inspired to connect with other folks who are doing similar things in different parts of the world, to share ideas and inspiration. And if people are interested in coming down to Colombia, there's some spots available in this community, so I can share more about that. And yeah, just good to be here and to get to connect with you all. Thank you, Joshua.
Great to see you, Maggie. I'm down here at Lumeria.
You too. Nice. I thought I recognized the background. I was wondering.
Yeah. All
Yay.
right. How about you, Michael?
Hi, it's always great to see you, familiar faces. Mr. Toussaint used to do some video production with me when I had my downtown Los Angeles production studio, and didn't quite realize what was coming, but we had some inklings. That was 2012 through 2016. And since 2018, I've been a full-time activist. We call it the Mankinder Movement, or the Mankinder Ministry at 508c1a Church Ministry, which integrates groups like yours with other congruent groups worldwide. So I'm a marketing guy. I'm creating marketing campaigns and media and production and music. Even I had a Piscean birthday party singing karaoke with Shira Notes. Hey, Shira. So any strategies that we can help y'all to connect the great people that want to do exactly what Joshua is talking about, we're here for you. And I'll provide links in the chat. I'm in San Diego currently. Even despite Christopher, I gave up on Los Angeles because the groups were not quite congruent. But as things have moved forward, I'm now the first San Diego, what they call area assistant of People's Rights. That's peoplesrights.org. And yes, that is the 65,000 member across the United States and Canada organization that was started by Ammon Bundy of the famed Bundy Ranch standoff, which of course is not what the media told you. So we help train people how to support their fellow man and woman and support their community and stay safe from incursion and excessive taxation and all kinds of unlawful challenges. So love and blessings to all.
Thank you for being here, Michael. Ivania.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, nice to meet you all. This is my first time here. I'm from San Diego. I live here, but I'm originally from Costa Rica. And I haven't gone to any gatherings in person yet. Hopefully I'll make it soon. And my purpose for being here is because I want connection. And nowadays, to me, that's one of the greatest pandemic, it's this connection that people, are so afraid to connect. And yes, and also going back to the roots, on Mother Earth, and grow our own food and community, because in the community we're going to have also support, when we have struggles, so we're not going to feel as alone, and be able to integrate, many aspects of ourselves with the community and support each other.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. Shira.
Hello, everybody. I was invited by Mankinder. I haven't made it to the in-person gathering of the tribes just yet. I live a bit far away, so I'm waiting for that to manifest still. Nice to meet everybody. I feel like I'm always craving connection every day, so I'm kind of writing is a lonely job, and I kind of don't want to do my job unless I know I have people to talk to sometimes, so I'm not really doing much right now. So I'm looking into something interesting. It's like a co-working community thing. What is it called? Just a second. I want to give you the name.
Wolfing?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Is it the Wolfing group?
No, I just want to make sure I have it right. Okay. Kiln, K-I-L-N.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they have it in other states, but they have it here in San Diego. Anyways, I'm looking into it. It's like a co-working space where you have to pay a certain amount of money, and they have amenities, and it's like a club, I guess, where you work with other people, or just like, so you're not working by yourself all the time. But yeah, I'm looking into that. I'm also trying to create my own ministry right now, so I'm trying to plan and brainstorm things right now, and try to take the next step, and kind of want to have an indoor space where people can come and get together. So yeah, there's this thing called kiln.com, and it looks really different, just so you guys know about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Thank you for being here, Shira.
Thanks.
Is it Kara or Kara?
Kara.
Kara.
Can you guys hear me? Am I?
Yes.
Okay. I just feel like my speakers isn't very strong, but anyhow, I'm here. My name's Kara, and I recently moved here to San Diego. I joined this because I have my own aspiration to create my own community, and I'm collecting information, but also all the different layers to it, and also connecting with others that may want to join me with that, or I join with their community. It's just wide open right now. It's a bit overwhelming for me, but I'm pacing myself. And so I may be kind of vague right now because it's overwhelming to me. So, but I'm really happy to, it just feels very much me with this kind of all these things that we're going to join together for. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Wolfpack, it looks like you went to another Zoom. You want to try it now?
Yeah, how's it working now?
Now we go. There we go.
Sweet. Yeah, my name is Wolfpack, and
I'm Raven.
Raven, and so we're actually on land in Joshua Tree, just starting out our commune.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's 2 of us right now, but we've had different family in and out, and so we're trying to find who flows through and feels like they want to stay more permanently.
I'm just looking for others within the tribe that can either bring knowledge, or we can share our own. We've both been well traveled for a very long time, and it came to the point where collaborating with others and creating, a home and stability spaces for people to come and go from and do their art is part of what we're here for in that way.
And our commune is themed on drumming and fire spinning, so we're focused on the fire ceremony aspect.
Awesome. Do you have a name for the community?
Right now it's called Super Kiki Funland. It was named after my cat, but that cat has since left us on purpose, so we're thinking about renaming.
Gotcha. Well, welcome. Thank you much for being here. Tara.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Yep. We can hear you. Or we could.
To be here for even a few moments because I just wanted to be in the spirit of this. I'm driving home from a meeting, and I'm just very interested in community and thinking, maybe I want to sell my house and join a community somewhere. I've been thinking about that. So I'm just wanting to kind of eavesdrop and listen in and see what you guys are talking about and get a sense.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for doing this, Joshua. Thank you.
Steve. Maybe is Steve with us? Steve, are you with us? He might not be.
He's muted.
No. Maybe he's doing something else for the moment. Well, if he chimes back in and wants to do an intro, he can. Okay, so now we're gonna hop into what we do call open space, and I'll post here in the chat a little bit about this, and you can read it, and I'll kind of read it out loud too. So everyone is welcome to propose an idea or a topic for a breakout room focused on creating healthy, thriving community. You can either speak it out loud to propose it, or you can type it in the chat. And as long as there's at least one other person that has interest in that topic, I can create a breakout room for it. And I'll share what I'm gonna host a topic here in the main room, and I'll share that in a moment, what I'm gonna talk about or hold space for. And then anybody else can share what you think is really important component to healthy and thriving community. And you don't need to stay in that breakout room the whole time. They call it like the law of 2 feet in open space. Like if you're doing it in person, you can get up and walk to another breakout session. Let's see, mute somebody there. So you can listen, you can participate for a couple minutes, 5 minutes in a discussion, and be like, oh, I want to go listen in on another group. And so you can kind of cross-pollinate between groups. You have the ability to move between breakout groups on your own. And if you're having a hard time doing that, you can just ask me and I can assign you to a certain breakout group. And actually, I'm going to change this. In here in the thing, it said I'm going to hold space for choosing where and what type of land, like what country, state, zoning, building codes, climate, all of that stuff. That's a really important one. And if somebody else wants to do that, they can. I think what I'm going to talk about or hold space for in the main room here is going to be like building trust with other people. It's like what it takes to actually cultivate the depth of relationships that are necessary to get into very serious things of, potentially investing into land together, and, the depth of where that can go if you're really going to build an intentional community or an eco village with somebody, or even work in depth on projects in the town or community they're already living in. It takes trust and getting to know one another. So that's what I'm gonna kind of hold space for, is deepening relationships and building trust, because I think that's important. And so now anybody, you can share it out loud. You can take yourself off mute and say, hey, I think this is really important. I'd like to host a breakout session around this, or you can type it in the chat. So give a couple minutes here for people to share other things that you think are really important about building community.
But hello.
Hello.
I just have so much I could say, but building trust. I feel like the biggest thing I've seen with people is, you know, unreliability and, you know, not being serious about things. Also like being compatible with others is really important. But yeah, so being reliable and also being realistic, I think those are important when we're actually trying to create something that's complex and kind of sounds like a dream, to be honest, to be able to build something with others. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you, Shira. And so right now, if like you typically some people say like, oh, I want to talk about healing centers or I want to talk about X, Y, and Z, and we'll have a couple different breakout rooms. So give it another moment here. If anybody has something else like, you know, hey, I think like ceremony and spirituality is really important. Like if there's something that you want to talk about, I can create a breakout room. As long as one other person is, you can go off and talk about that. I mean, we can all stay in this room and talk about building trust and connections. That's totally fine. But also just going to give it here a few more moments. If somebody's like, if you have something that you think is really important around building community that you want to propose a breakout session for or a breakout group for.
I'd like to propose a breakout session for freedom cells. If anybody is familiar with the concept and wants to talk further about that.
Okay, awesome. I'm very intrigued with the freedom cells. Do you want to give a little more context to that? So I probably not a lot of people on here might not be familiar with freedom cells. So like they know if they would like to join you in that breakout session.
Yeah, there was a nonprofit group started several years ago by Derek Rose and John Bush. They call it the Freedom Cells. There's a site now called freedomcells.org, which has about 40,000 members worldwide. And basically it's about a number, I don't want to call it a prepper group so much, but there is an element of preparation for what may be coming down in terms of things like the state requiring more and more laws and difficulties, presenting more and more problems for local groups that want to build and exit the cities and you know be more or less free to do what they came here to do, rather than having to comply with hundreds now in some cases of laws that where they have to build according to certain zones and they have to, you know, maybe soon deal with the central bank digital currencies and things of that nature.
Cool. Yeah, I'm intrigued with the freedom cells for sure. Is there anybody else? Is there at least one person that would have interest in talking with Chris about that? And you can just like raise your hand or give a thumbs up, say yes. And if there's at least one other person, okay, cool, Genesis. So then we'll create that. Anybody else have a topic you'd like to focus on?
Along with that, I'd love to hear from Michael about the work that Michael, you said you were doing some work with some communities about staying lawful and keeping the government entities out of it. So curious about what you're doing in that as well as what Christopher's saying. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that definitely could integrate with that freedom cells discussion for sure.
Totally.
Anybody else? Right now we've got two, like building trust and deepening relationships and the freedom cells. Any other topics that somebody feels are really important that you'd like to propose? Okay.
I would say commitment to building community, or just being committed.
I'm creating the Freedom Cell group real quick. Freedom Cell. Okay, there we go. I think that commitment level could like definitely be part of the building trust and relationships compartment, unless you feel like you would like to propose a complete different breakout room on commitment.
No, that's okay.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? And if not, I'll create the breakout room and people can move back and forth between them. And we'll take maybe like 25 minutes or so in the breakout rooms, and then we'll come back together for like 10, 15 minutes and just have kind of a group wisdom share of what some of the highlights were out of our each discussion. And so we can come back and share all together. And then we will close the circle. So I'll open the room here in a moment, and you should get a little prompt if you want to join the Freedom Cell one. Otherwise, you'll stay here and you can move around. And if you can't get somewhere, you can let me know and I can assign you to a room. So I'll open the Freedom Cell room right now. Christopher, I'll send you Genesis. You got it, or do you want me to send you there?
I got it. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Michael, do you want to go over there? Or do you want to stay here?
I'll hang with you for a bit.
Okay. All right, then. Well, let's just open the table, and you know, I definitely have things that I can share based on kind of our experience with the 2-year project and stuff. So like if there's, you know, if we're needing prompts, I can definitely like come in and kind of spark something, but let's just kind of open it and let's try to be kind of like, there's a decent amount of us here in this group, so kind of mindful when we're sharing something, you know, maybe keep it to a minute or 2 minutes or something, and then let kind of leave space for somebody else to either respond or share some feedback or something to that, so we all have the opportunity to talk. I'm not necessarily going to like facilitate it and be like, okay, like now Susan, now Susan, now Jeannie, now Cara, like we'll just kind of open popcorn style and just be mindful to let everybody kind of share their ideas. So what feels, yeah, most kind of connected with your heart around what it takes to build trust and deepen connections to the level of like, you know, investing potentially into land together and really get into serious work together?
I'll step on a landmine and give a compliment to Christiane, because you're so right that working together and finding what unites us rather than divides us is so important. When the COVID chaos kicked into gear, I thought, oh, now I can tell what divides the, you know, us from them. And it's the people that fell for it, that fell for the jab and the mask and all that. And whoops, that was a little trap, because we have to take care of those people also. Just because I figured out that jabs were a problem before 2015 and I wasn't going to have anything to do it, doesn't mean that other people who even did go for the jabs because they felt they needed to for their job or their family or the maintenance of friendships, or they wanted to travel or go see the kinds of rock concerts that I used to produce, you know, doesn't mean that they're a problem person. They need nurturance, possibly even, you know, more than those of us that stayed what we consider healthy, right? Because everything is unique. And I salute the way that Joshua's been doing it, where it's been, you know, general principles and embracing all. So just a opener jump on the landmine.
Yeah, that's definitely that's a landmine to start out there with. It's a bold one. I think yeah, like, you know, and I'll keep like try to just leave open space and keep it directed to that. That's a pretty controversial one that I just want to make sure we're all super respectful, because people might have very different perspectives on that in this group even. And so in terms of building trust and connection, I would say is actually part of that would be cultivating a safe environment where people feel safe to communicate. And that's a pretty, you know, that's a pretty oh, what's the word I'm looking here? Well, it can be a triggering one. So yeah,
Yep.
if people want to either respond to that or, you know, to share anything else that you're feeling, like what it takes to build trust and connection and community.
Well, I want to thank you, Michael. I appreciate that and your perspective on it. Yeah, that's what it takes to build trust. Willing to step on the landmine, as you said, but also having space for different points of view and people to express their needs and in different situations. Yeah. And hi, Tara. Recently, probably some of you are very familiar with IFS, Internal Family Systems. That's, I think I've heard about it before, but only recently got involved with some online groups that do that, and also actually non-dual IFS with Dick Schwartz is the founder of that. And I find that a really great tool for trust building for that, you know, groups can participate in.
Could you, I was taking a couple of notes of some things. Could you repeat what that process was again that you just mentioned?
Internal Family Systems.
Internal Family Systems. Okay.
IFS. And particularly non-dual IFS. And the founder of that was Dick Schwartz. And there's a friend of mine who also runs a group called Effortless IFS, which is also a non-dual. Non-dual teachers.
What is non-duality? Is that like, was that what like
non-duality teachers? Yes, such as Adyashanti and
okay.
And Eckhart Tolle and
Okay.
Rupert Spira.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, so they've kind of combined the IFS with the non-duality.
Awesome. Thanks for
IFS is just about our own parts within us that have, you know, the different voices within each of us that want something at different times, different things, or, you know, and they're all based in, you know, usually some childhood event or trauma.
Well, thanks for sharing that resource, Rachela. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it gives space for expression of those parts and to be held in love for those parts that are expressing themselves.
Yeah. And I see Kara raised your hand there. So everybody can kind of do that too. If there's something you want to say, you can either raise your hand physically and I can kind of like keep track of like who has something to say, or you can raise it here on the screen. So yeah, go ahead, Kara.
Yeah, so what comes to mind is that I imagine that to welcome different points of view, it's I would think you need to have good qualities of having some balance and some sensitivity and a centeredness to how you respond to people, not just say whatever. But I mean, I think it takes a lot more mindfulness. I think it'll ask all of us, I think, to step back from that, just responding. If we're going to make it safe for everybody, we're going to have to put more effort into thinking more before we just respond, you know. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm very interested in that whole area of the communication, because I know we're all so excited to join together, but there's so many layers to it, and that's what I want to know more from the people that already have a community. What did they gain? What did they learn about, you know, building this community with trust, communication?
Beautiful. Thank you, Cara. I think I saw Jeannie's hand, and then Wolfpack, and then Tara.
I guess like in the same like mindset. Like what comes to mind is sort of like just like the intention, like setting intentions. And one intention is like the intention to just be vulnerable. You know, like how do you really communicate openly with people unless you allow yourself to be vulnerable and ask for you know, what you want or what you need from a community. And in the same breath, like also having the intention to be able to hold space, you know, safe space for that vulnerability. So sort of like the give and take of being vulnerable and holding space for other people's vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Yeah. Really, really important. I think we're at Wolfpack.
Yeah, I just wanted to share something about our lived experience of starting this out, because we kind of found ourselves, we got the land for the two of us to just get off the road, and the intention was with like for the whole family to get off the road and just come by and do anything, you know. It was a very open boundary at first, and it was really interesting over the first couple seasons to see as people came through that didn't necessarily care about it for longer term, just wanted a place to park, just wanted to like, one person was like parking for free and then working online, but not wanting to put in any money to the commune. So it's like, just like kind of finding the boundary and the trust in advance would have been, is like what a lot of people recommend. So from the other side, 3 years out of just kind of starting out with a wide open boundary, and then going to like just a couple close friends that wanted to come through, and then now it's still finding out who's going to be part of the thing. Most people say like get the group first and then get the land, and which is definitely like we just did our best, and we're building it as we go, literally by hand, from vans and from tents. And so it's been beautiful to kind of like see how that trust and boundary develops. We just had to work on interpersonal trust between just two people, like doing this and staying committed to like being out in the desert and just knowing that the others will come. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, journey of faith.
Yeah, journey of faith.
Awesome. Well, that's courageous for you two to have just, you know, moved forward and got the land and, you know, creating it as you go. So that's exciting. It's inspiring. Tara.
Hi. And hi, Raitila. It's fun to see you. Hi. We'll have to catch up after. So riffing off, I think what Cara was saying about communication, I'm really big on that. I'm actually an NVC facilitator, coach, nonviolent communication. So I'm really passionate about that and about the power of words and language and listening and really connecting on the needs level and navigating to meet all needs. And for me, communication is just key to all that. So that's kind of my baby, my focus. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like being trained or the group learning NVC together could be a really powerful tool to build trust and learn how to safely communicate with one another. And yeah.
And Honestly, I'll just say I'm happy to offer trainings with that to this group because I've been doing it a long time and I feel really comfortable and confident in offering NVC training.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. That could be an interesting, I mean, I'm almost thinking like one of the Gathering of the Tribes, we could just like do that and like have you be kind of a guest, presenter, facilitator, and like and actually go through some stuff together. I think could be really beautiful.
Yeah, I'm happy to. Happy to. Sure.
Thank you, Tara. Appreciate that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Rachela.
Oh, I just wanted to also chime in and say, yeah, for the people who were talking about communication, I think that that's so important because I think there's communities that have fallen apart because if you don't have communication, trust, and transparency,
Yeah.
it can't work. It just doesn't can't stay together. So that's key.
Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking just back to like what we did for our 2-year project, and I invited everybody that I knew personally and had history with that I thought might be interested in a community project. And we did a 3-day gathering out east of San Diego at Liberty Arising and had like a 3-day community visioning experience, seeing like just exploring what people would want to create. And the call to action out of that was to see if 12 people wanted to actually do it. And we did. We had like 12 people come out of that. And it was interesting because that was the trust. Like the trust is I had friendship with all of them for, like some of them for years. I mean, many years. And it was also interesting that I have very specifically in that process and the invitation said, this is an invite only gathering of people I know. Please don't extend this invitation to other people. If you feel like somebody might be a good match, let them know, like put them in touch with me and I'll kind of feel into it. And one of my friends didn't read through the invite, shared it with somebody else that he thought would be a good person. She came, and when we were doing one of the circles, she shared like, oh, I've got this land up in Valley Center that needs community on it. And it ended up being where we actually all went to live was on her land. And so it was kind of this like funny little synchronicity of like the one person I actually didn't know that came accidentally as where we ended up going. And there still was that building trust thing of like, okay, I just met this person and we're talking about moving on to her land for 2 years. And that was part of actually why we set the 2-year parameter is we were just getting to know each other. Like, here's the vision for Local Earth as a nonprofit organization. Here's what we're doing, getting to know her. But like, we didn't know each other that well. And so we're like, let's just kind of say, let's put a 2-year parameter on this and see how it goes in the 2 years and, have the potential to continue on past that. And so yeah, that was kind of an interesting experience because everybody else actually had quite a bit of trust and background, like personal history with, and that was a new person. And it's pretty serious when you're talking about buying land together and getting into contracts and investing money and all of that. Like it's, you really need to know one another. Rachela, yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I also have, I'm a ZEG forum facilitator.
Oh,
I don't know
awesome.
if you're familiar with ZEG.
I am.
And ZEG community, and also I was part of the Love Pioneers, which was a tantric loosely community some years ago there in San Diego. We talked about living together, but it didn't work at the time because most people were working at different jobs and living in different places, and so there would be small group homes. There was 24 of us in the beginning, and then out of that came the Tantra Puja committee that gathered for I don't know 4 or 5 years, and put together a monthly puja in San Diego. But yeah, there was a lot of us who would have liked to have lived together in a community, you know, but like I said, it just wasn't, the timing wasn't right, the place wasn't right, and you know, people had their families and their jobs and different places.
With Zeg, I've been fascinated with Zeg Forum for a while, and like feel like it seems like an amazing process and experience. Could that be used with a group to, like, because I've heard about it in the context of like communities that already live together using it to keep things harmonious and flowing in the community. Could it be used with a group that, like a newly forming group that isn't living together, like to build trust, or like, I mean.
Yeah. And Zeg classically used it, you know, because they were living together. But we used it in San Diego, even though we weren't living together. So it was just whoever came together for that meeting, and that's what went on. So it was a good communication tool, good for seeing into each other and for vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, at Zeg, they don't even allow you to be part of the forum unless you've lived in their community at least a year, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maggie, I'd be curious if you have anything to share about like Colombia, and like where in the process like your community is, and like how you all have gone about like building trust with one another, and how many people are involved and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. And I also want to introduce my friend Veronica, who is part of the community also. We're sharing some space now nearby the land, and yeah, where to begin? We just so it's there's a big piece of land, and within that there are a couple different sub communities forming. So there's one lot that there's just 4 of us right now, and we're opening up to 2 other individuals or families who want to be part of it, and it's just land. So it's really just starting from scratch. It's on a river, which is beautiful, but also means we need to build a bridge of some sort. And so, yeah, we're just like dialing in the plans for the infrastructure right now. And then just adjacent to it, there's another community forming, which is a bamboo village. And there's various other lots. It's like this whole valley, which is just beginning to blossom with conscious communities. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to get involved. But yeah, we met, I guess about a year ago or so, all of us, and decided that we wanted to explore buying this plot together. And then we all traveled and we were in different places. And then just like a few weeks ago, we came back here, all of us, and met in person, just went the other day and spent the day walking the land and starting to look at some places where we might want to build our homes. And we're talking about different communal projects as well, having like a shared space. We'll want to do retreats and host offerings eventually. So yeah, we're just exploring that. But the time that we were apart from each other, we were having regular Zoom meetings. So we were all just kind of alternating between like talking about logistical things, and then we'd have some meetings where we were just connecting on a personal level, getting to know one another. So yeah, it's in progress right now. Yeah. Do you want to add anything, Veronica?
Well, hi everyone, I'm Veronica. I'm from Canada. I've been living in Colombia now for almost 4 years, and kind of came here accidentally, followed some friends, and I have been traveling the world, mainly in Latin America, looking for my new home, for my new community, and got invited by some friends to come check out Colombia, which wasn't on my list, unfortunately. And it was a really beautiful surprise because it really brought me to exactly where I needed to be. I got the opportunity to get stuck here during the pandemic for over a year, which really opened up the opportunity to get to know the place and the people, and realize that this is the place that I wanted to be. And so when I felt the connection to this land, I really started to put the ideas and this dream that I had of living in community in my mind on paper, and then just kind of started walking around with my presentation of like, hey, anybody else want to live in a community? And then just meeting other people who did, and then kind of just connecting with people like that. And some people are like, okay, we're totally not on the same page, we don't have the same vision. And other people like, yes, like we have the same vision. Okay, let's get in touch and let's talk more. Maggie happened to be one of those people. Came to one of my ecstatic dances, and we just started talking and saw we had a bunch of things in common and both had the same vision. And here we are, a week away from signing the purchase offer. And how would you say it in English?
I'm not sure. It's a contract of some sort.
There's the promise of purchase.
Yeah.
And yeah, now we're just starting to put this dream on paper and starting to look at, you know, what this means, and planning things and acuerdos, like agreements, like what are our agreements, what are the things that we see, and what is the kind of governance that we're thinking of having, and all those fun things. And I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised. We've been getting along really well, and we've been having hard discussions in a really healthy way. You know, there's moments where there's been points of friction and when we haven't agreed, but we've gotten through it. And, you know, we always come to a point of like, okay, well, we can work with this. You know, maybe I don't agree 100%, but it's okay, and I can work with it, and we can revise it. And so it's been a really great process so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the roller coaster ride.
Yeah, and the name is, they're asking about the name. So
Los Elementales. Los Elementales means the elementals. So we are the guardians of the elements. So the guardians of the land, of the sun, of the water, of the earth. That is the name of our community.
How do we find out more if we want to know more about it?
100%. You guys can check it out on Instagram. I'll put it in the thing. So it's loselementales.org is the website, and then Los Elementales on Instagram. You'll find us there.
And this is a name that Veronica has been using to do events and retreats for a while now. And so we're kind of just merging that with the community for right now. But just so you're aware, when you go to the website and Instagram, you'll probably see more things about events that she's done in the past. But yeah, it's something that we're all collaborating on. We're going to be working together to do some of these events. And so, yeah, for now, we're using the name also to refer to the community, but that may shift in the future.
Yeah, we're talking about maybe bringing another name for the community itself, and then keeping the Los Elementales for more us and like the events that we do. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, and feel free to reach out if anybody's interested and wants more details, if it's something that calls to you, if you feel like you might want to come down and visit. We'd be excited to show you around. It's such a beautiful land.
Yeah, and we have some spots open left in the community, and we're also open to any volunteers or any volunteer programs or anything like that. So yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Can you share briefly, Veronica or Maggie, especially Veronica, you said that you've been around a lot, especially South America. What is it about Colombia that really was like, yes, this is home, this is it?
That's a great question, Genesis. Thank
if
you.
That's okay, Josh.
Yeah, Colombia stood out. For me, mainly it was the people. I was really leaning towards Costa Rica originally. That was like my first kind of place that I really fell in love with the place. I felt a really nice connection, and it was a beautiful community. But when I looked around the community, all I saw was foreigners. I didn't see any Costa Ricans. And that to me was a problem. Personally, I was like, I don't want to go and live in another country and not be around the people who are from that country. And so in Colombia, I found quite the opposite. In the Colombia, I looked around and the community was mainly made of Colombians with a few foreigners. That felt more right to me. And I also felt much more an openness where the Colombians want to learn from us and they want to teach us. They want to show us their ways, and they're also open to our ways. So there's a much more of an openness that I felt in Colombia. I also felt a community in the sense of like, I've got your back a lot more here. And I think that that comes from that they've suffered so much here. They've been through so much violence. They've been through, you know, some of the worst things in the world. And now they don't have that here anymore, not to the same level. And it's like they don't want to go back there. They know what it is, and they don't want to go back to that. And now it's like, hey, if I take care of you, will you take care of me? And can we create a new world for each other and for our children? And that's really what I've had the joy of connecting with here in this region. In the Antioquia, I won't speak for all of Colombia because that's obviously there's other places that are very different, but in the Antioquia region specifically, which contains Medellin, that's what I've found here. It's just this really beautiful connection with the people. And of course, the climate is just perfect. It's like the perfect weather all year long. There is no like deep down rainy season, like, you know, where we were checking out in Costa Rica, which is just like 3 months, you can't do anything. It's just raining. Like we don't have that here. Like it rains all the time, but just enough, you know, at night. And it's like, you don't have to water your food, you know, it's just like, it's perfect. So it's just like this perfect climate all year long, which is definitely a big plus.
Yeah, and it's really easy to grow food, like just the fruits and trees and plants, just really abundant.
Abundance.
And yeah, so definitely for me, it was also everything that Veronica said about the people and the integration with the local people. Also the presence of native indigenous cultures here. There's just so many different indigenous tribes that are still living in the ancient ways and sharing their wisdom. So it feels like there's a lot to learn there. And yeah, the nature and compared to other South American countries, because I've traveled a lot in South America too, and I love every country in South America that I've been to, but it's a lot closer to the US. It's like you can take a pretty short, inexpensive flight here. So just practicality wise, and it's very affordable. Another practicality.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. I want to learn lots more about your community and all of that. And I want to go deeper into it. And I want to keep us a little focused on the building trust component. And it's pretty cool that to like have a real, like, for us to be hearing an example of like you two who met, I think you said about a year ago, and have gone through that step of like getting to know a new person, and here you are a week away from actually like signing contracts and investing into land together. So like you've really gone through that, and so it's beautiful to like see that and like hear a little bit about your journey. And I think you said there's 4 of you currently that are going in together on that parcel, is that correct? Did all 4 of you just like meet one another within this last year? Is that like, what's kind of the timeline of how all 4 of you met?
So there's one couple,
Okay.
and then us 2.
Okay.
So the couple, obviously they already knew each other. They've been together for, I think they're going on like 3 years. So they've been traveling around together and all that. So they already knew each other. And then I met the girl of the couple. I met her. She came to one of my women's circles. I met her, and then I wanted to do a men's or a mixed circle. And so she invited her boyfriend, and then I met him. And then we started all kind of connecting and doing activities together. And then they ended up working with me in Los Elementales, the events branch, doing events. And then so we really got to know each other working together. She was managing the social media, and he was my logistics manager. So we got to build a lot of trust, working together and getting to know each other and talking about finances and pays and all that stuff. So we kind of got a good opportunity to start to build that between us. And then Maggie came in a little bit later. She had actually met the couple before me in at the land where we ended up in another
neighboring community. We had toured a neighboring community like a year before that, and we're kind of just checking out the area, checking out what different community projects there were. And then when I saw them last time I came back, we were both like, oh, we're actually drawn to this community in
same land.
particular, to the same land. Yeah, and so I met Veronica. Actually, it's been less than a year since I've known
Yeah,
you.
it's been only maybe
Yeah.
about 8 months. It was
Mhm.
right before I left. So yeah, so we met again through the event, and then we've been sort of
Yeah, we collaborated a bit
yeah.
on one of your events, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of synergy, and I feel like the collaboration piece, you know, whether you're collaborating on events and offerings, or you know, even just a meal, like cooking together, planting seeds and gardening together, I think like working together and co-creating is something that really can form bonds and trust in that way.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing so much. Like it's so inspiring to like, and Maggie and I have kind of been weaving this journey for a couple of years now in conversations, and so happy for you to like, yeah, see you on land and ready to invest. And I want to talk with you more about it, but we can sync up another time. Let's I see your hand up, Kara. Let's hear what you have to say.
I just wanted to comment. I just hearing you guys, how you guys all came together and talking about, you know, grievances and all this different stuff. It feels so big to me. It's big. You know, you're literally creating your family by choice. That's powerful. I mean, it feels so big to me. But I just wanted to say that. So, you know, you have to also, I was thinking, gosh, you know, like what happens if someone gets sick, you know, develops an illness, and what, you know, there's so many layers to that. It's just like, it's intense, but it's but we're doing it by choice. Isn't that just awesome? So.
Thanks, Kara. All right. Well, it looks like the breakout room from the Freedom Cells, you guys are back now. And so let's just take kind of like 10 minutes to kind of do the wisdom share, like kind of like sift through what we've heard from both like our discussion on building trust and relationships and deepening connections, anything that felt like kind of like a high level takeaway to share with the people that weren't in this breakout room. And then likewise, would love to hear like from Christopher and Steve and Michael, if there's any kind of highlight components that you'd like to share from your discussion around Freedom Cells.
Well, yeah, our group was pretty small. Genesis was there at the beginning, and then we had Steve and Michael come on board, and both myself and Michael are already members of the freedomcell.org organization, movement, whatever you want to call it. Basically, I just wanted to get into, and we did a little bit about how Freedom Cells are a natural component of intentional communities, in that, you know, generally speaking, they're best usually around 6 to 12 people. And it's basically a shared skill, shared resources type of group that has everyone's back. Doesn't need to be, of course, living on the same property or land. But in fact, that is a good way of starting to form a community. Because what it does is it allows you to build trust with people you don't know, but who all have a common interest in freedom and addressing some of the ills of our society, and what many of us are looking at as a rapidly approaching tyranny from government and corporate partnerships that are trying to redesign our food, trying to redesign our living environment, and you know, what we can and cannot do in terms of you know, different ways of living our lives as we have, and ways that we want to live that are outside of the you know, the globalists directives. So that's basically kind of where we talked about a number of different aspects of that.
Awesome.
Anybody who attended the group want to contribute? I guess
Well, I joined the group because I had heard of Freedom Cells and knew nothing about it really. So I'm looking at the website now, and this is really something I think I need to look into further.
Most of the
I encourage
action
everyone to
happens
go
in-
to the website and just look and see what it is.
Most of the action happens in the Telegram groups. The website's kind of.
Yeah.
Is there a Freedom Cell?
And Michael posted a link to the website, so you can find it there.
The Telegram group, Michael, is there for each like little Freedom Cell of like 8 people? Do they have their own little Telegram group, or is there like a master kind of Telegram group for?
Oh yeah, it you know, because it's freedom oriented, it's total chaos. There are unified threads and groups, and there's one Telegram group that is just Freedom Cell Finder, which you'd think there was some organized system of making sure that everyone is listed, but good luck with that. So yeah, there's kind of no system. Everybody makes their own.
Oh, great! I'm confused enough with Telegram as it is, let alone this is. But yeah, it's
The
not
real
surprising.
the real premise of the organization when they started some 6 years ago or so was to get people to be more localized and self-sufficient on a local basis, rather than having to be at the mercy of centralized everything. You know, how our society is becoming more and more centralized, fewer and fewer corporations like BlackRock.
And that's important for everything to be on a local level because, yeah.
It's not political though. It doesn't, it really kind of shies away from all the different, it's more anarchistic than anything else.
Yeah, talking politics is actually specifically kind of bad. So that keeps it a little cleaner. I'm devoted to help market and expand their reach dramatically. So we've had little snippets of conversation between me and the founders in that direction. So we'll see when we get there.
Awesome. From our like trust building discussion, I took a couple little notes that I could browse through just to share with you guys. Michael started off with the bravery of the landmine around vaccines and differing perspectives on that and how space could be held in community for a wide variety of things around that and how to navigate that.
Sorry, I missed that one.
Internal internal family systems was shared as a potential kind of like non-dual practice and process. We talked about nonviolent communication as a good process to build trust and communication together, and Tara offered to actually maybe give some training and facilitation in that. So thank you again, Tara. I think that could be beautiful. Rachila brought up the ZEG forum that she facilitates, and that's another process that is a little bit more geared towards a group that's already in community together, but I think it's something that I've been fascinated about for a long time. And then vulnerability was talked about in both the vulnerability to share, you know, from a sensitive and vulnerable space in ourselves, and then that going in combination with a safe space being cultivated and held, so people do feel safe to share the vulnerable parts. So there's a lot around communication. And then Maggie and Veronica gave us a beautiful kind of download about their community in Colombia that they're starting, and a group of them, 4 of them, have met like somewhat over this last year and have gone from that process of like meeting people that like they didn't know and building that trust through they've worked together on projects and different like workshops or events and built that level of trust to where they're a week away from signing contracts to buy land together. So it's really, really beautiful and inspiring to see it happening and hear about it. So I'd say that's my notes. Usually try to keep it about an hour and a half. So we're at that right now. If anybody else has anything that you really want to share, that was kind of like a wisdom, like a harvest from the breakout sessions, like can take a brief moment to share it. And then if not, we can close up the circle here in a moment.
Well, Steve was mentioning the resilience circles that are part of the One Town movement. Steve,
okay.
Do you want to say something about that at all? I thought that was worth exploring, so I'm going to check it out. They're called resilience circles.
With the one small, is it one small town?
Right, one small town. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'd like to check that out. Okay. Well, unless anyone has anything, we can let's take another straight seat, straight spine together. Place here.
Before we do it, has the location been set for the November gathering, in-person gathering yet?
Yes, it's on the website and it's at Fay Park where it was last month.
Ariel.
Okay, I'll look on the website.
Yes. Yeah, at Ariel's place.
Okay, thanks.
All right, yeah, let's straight spines, take a couple breaths together, take an inhale. Exhale, side out. Take another inhale. Exhale, side out. Just want to share my gratitude to each and every one of you for showing up with your open minds, your open hearts, your wisdom, your love. Share inspiration and ideas with one another. I really feel that we all have so much wisdom. We're all part of this beautiful puzzle, and in our own authentic, unique selves, we all have so much to share. It's continually like inspiring to me to see others that share this vision to live in harmony and balance with nature and with the planet, with one another. We've been seeing what's been going on in Israel and Palestine and Russia and Ukraine, and it's just refreshing to connect with other souls and beings that are focused on harmony and peace, and ways that we can build community together that supports our health and thriving for all life, not just the humans, all life on this planet. So it's an honor to be here with all of you. Thank you so much. And we'll do this online again on the first Thursday of next month. And those of you that are in San Diego on the third Saturday will gather. And those of you in other places, like I said, there's on the website a place to like a little template where you could have your own gathering of the tribes in your own community and start to build those personal relationships where you are. So thank you all so much. Appreciate you. Sending lots of love for a beautiful rest of your week.
Thank you.
I may be
Thank you.
the wrong
Thank you
website.
all.
Can you post a link to the in-person gathering? Because the one I'm seeing is still October, showing October 21st.
Yes, I can post a link to that.
Thanks, everyone. This has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thanks. I am planning on being at the in-person gathering on November 18th, wherever it is.
Me too.
It's in Vista.
Yeah, it's in Vista. I'll try the Facebook group has yeah, I need to update it because it just happened, I guess, this last week. So it's in Vista. It's at the same place it was last month. So I'll update it. The Facebook group is accurate. I can place the Facebook group here. Let's see here. Link sharing, Telegram group, Facebook.
Steve can handle it. He's in Riverside. It's reasonable.
Yeah, let's see. Oh no, that's the online version.
How
I'll
you juggle all this is beyond me, man.
I'll update it soon.
God.
Yeah.
Big brain over there.
All right, Steve, I'll update that. Thank you, everybody. Really, really appreciate you all. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Good night, everyone.
You know, I'm always the last one to leave, right?
I do know that.
If you want to tell me what's new on your big release project,
Oh, I thought I left.
database system, Joshua, you can tell me or not.
All right. I've been going all day. I don't know if you were on at the beginning.
Oh, I heard. I forgot to say, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So much sympathy to Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing and then another.
I know it like seriously. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my health. And
Well, the animal welfare people should send you a new car or something.